Hi folks, County Line Gardener with you. Been a while. Just making a video here because it's just well, there's really nothing else for me to do here. I'm caught up with all my gardening. Gardening season's over with, of course. We're coming down here with the blackberry patch that you guys are all familiar with if you watch my videos. Man, what a year we had for blackberries. We're going to get back up to the house here and we're going to talk about them. But folks, we still got looky there. We got blackberries coming on now. It's impossible. I may have to indulge in that one there. Oh yeah, they're just as sweet as they can be. My goodness. We keep it trimmed out. We got it all trimmed out here. A couple months, about 3 weeks ago. I wanted to show you something quickly up here, and then we'll go back to the house. We took our fence down. I don't know if it was in the other video, but we took it down. It looks so much better up here now. So much better, so much nicer. Right here is where the fence was. And it went all the way back here past, well, we'll get back here. All the way down through here. Now this part right here, you see, I come out here with a roller last night, 400-pound roller, and I rolled this down. This is going to go back to grass. This first half of this, well, at least the first third of this garden is going to go back to grass, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. We got a drainage here, so we're going to leave this here. Oh, we did have grass in there, but from about, I'm going to say from about here on back, we're still going to have a big garden. It's still going to be 200 feet, so we're going to have plenty of space. But the main reason is we're just downsizing. We don't need 200 and 300 tomato plants a year. Not for us. We're both getting up there close to 70 years old, and it's getting hard to bend over. And if you're our age, I don't have to tell you, you know. Here's my last 5 rows of blackberries. These were all cut from sprouts that grew down there in the blackberry patch. I haven't got a dime in any of these blackberries here, and man, are they starting to produce. Here's where the fence was. It's just so much nicer to be able to drive around. I mow up against everything now. Don't have to weed eat around that fence anymore. It's one of the main reasons I got rid of it. I got a lot of work, but oh, it's a beautiful day out here in southern Indiana. We're really enjoying some nice weather. Cooler. It was like 48 this morning, and it's right about 70 right now. Probably not a hint of wind. You can see how this grass is growing. This grass is growing in here, and I'm going. This is going to be my garden next year. It sure is holding moisture for some reason. I don't know why, but it might be all this shade. But garden's going to come to about here, okay? About here. So you can look back there and see how much we got. We got plenty. We're just cutting this, so this is all going to be grass right here. It really grows nice grass here. I had a golf green up here one time. Back when I was playing golf, I had a golf green built there. That's probably one reason that grass is growing so nice right there. We're trying to. And I'd hit them from the house up there, which was about 150 yards. Somewhere in the 140, 150 yards, depending on where you hit it from. But it was a lot of fun. Neighbors didn't like me hitting their golf balls in their yard, which I did every other time. I couldn't hit a ball straight if I had to. But we'll get back down through here. Blackberries are looking good, looking real good. Got them all trimmed up here. I mow underneath them. If you look at the bottom, I pick up my leaves in the fall, and I got a lawn vac for that. Then I dump them down here and blow them into them berries to try to keep the weeds down, and it seems to work. Okay, well, let's go on up here. We'll go up here. I'll mount this camera on the tripod. We'll talk about this year's garden, which I can't complain about at all. I had a wonderful year gardening. I wanted to show you guys one thing real quickly here. It's a Jeep. I think I showed it to you in the last video, but my father-in-law gave me and my wife that Jeep. They wouldn't let him have his driver's license anymore because he couldn't see good enough, he understood that. So he brought that over. He brought that over here and gave it to my wife. It's 2008, I think, or 2008, yeah. Oh, nice Jeep Liberty. It's got about 100,000 miles on it, but man, ain't got a scratch on it. Beautiful machine. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But anyway, we're getting back in the shop here. Okay, I'm going to shut this down, and I'll get back with you in just a minute, okay? Bye-bye. Okay, I'm back. Told you I wanted to talk a little bit here on the back porch about our gardening this year. It's over with. Kind of glad in a way. It wore us out. It wore us out this year. We're both getting to where we can't hardly bend over. I can't breathe, so that doesn't help any either. But anyway, enough of that. We couldn't have been happier with our garden this year. Everything just went so good. The rain came when it should. We never had too much rain like we have had in the past. We 2 or 3 years ago, it rained us out. It ruined everything we had. If you'll remember, it did, but it didn't. This year was just perfect. Just perfect. I think I watered one time. We had maybe a 17-day dry spell, so I took the water tank up. I got a water tank for my golf car. I put it in the back of my golf car and made several loads up there, 35 gallons a load, and watered everything in. And while I was at it, I added a little Epsom salt to the water, and kind of helped. That puts that. I can't think of the chemical in it, but it makes everything so nice and green. We only had to spray twice this year. Twice. No bugs. Speak of. Maybe we may have only. I think we only sprayed one time. But anyway, it was just a great year all around. Weeds were the problem, like they always are, and I got to come up with something to get around the base of them tomato plants, and I'm going to do it. I'm a cardboard newspaper. I've heard of all kinds of stories. I'm going to try something. I don't know what yet, but we'll try something there. But I got a few figures here for you. We try to keep track of everything we sell, or everything we pick and can, of course. Let's start with the corn this year. We grow a corn called Incredible, and that's a good name for it. It's yellow corn. It's not white corn or mixed. It's all yellow. Comes out beautiful ears. The stalks don't get real big. They don't get real monster big, but man, most of the time you get 2 ears per stalk, and it works out real well. And we just had I don't know how many loads in that golf cart we hauled in here. We had 800 feet of it. of sweet corn, and we just kept picking and kept picking and kept picking. It's a lot of it's in the freezer frozen now. A lot of it we sold. The Indian corn. I love to grow Indian corn because it gets so tall. We had some 14, 15 foot stalks up here this year. They always do that. Big ears on them, and it's just beautiful. The corn is just beautiful. We got it hanging all around the porch here for decorations. It's just beautiful. My wife likes to let them dry and tie 2 or 3 of them together, 3 or 4 together, and then hang them up. And we sell them too, but most of them she gets. But anyway, green beans. We grew, I'm going to say 800 feet. I think we had 8 rows, and they're 100-foot rows of green beans. Jade 2 is the name of it, if you want to remember this. Jade 2. We had a 100-foot row. We had a bushel of beans. Easily. More than that, probably. It just kept on going on and on and on. They're great big long 7-inch beautiful colored green beans. They were just great. Now we pick them a little differently. We had to, especially this year with us both being, my wife's down on her back, can't bend over at all. So I had to do it all. So I do this every year, but I pull the whole thing out of the ground. When it's time to pick green beans, I don't pick them off the plant. I pick the plant. Throw everything in the golf cart and come up here, and then we separate them. We separate the green beans from the bush, throw the bush down, and it goes back there in the compost pile. And we did that and did that and did that. And we sold a lot of green beans to this one particular lady that she just loved them. She said they're the best she'd ever had. But I think she bought 4 bushels of them. We canned the rest and eat the rest. We're going to have some tonight. We're going to have some corn tonight too. But they did great. Onions. I always, I didn't used to grow good onions. I let the weeds get to them, eat them up. I did it this year too up there in the garden, but I've been growing my onions in raised beds out here. You're familiar with the videos. You've seen them. Red candy and the white candy onions. And folks, they get as big as a softball. Some of them. I had a couple that went way over 1.5 pounds this year. We still got them. They're out there dry on the table. When we need one, we grab one. I like the red ones. My wife prefers the white ones. But we need an onion, we just go out there to the garage and grab one. So that onions went real well. Now I put a 100-foot row of onions I had left over in the garden. Well, I planted them and never touched them again. Not one weed, and they didn't grow. So that tells you right there, you gotta control the weeds. In the raised bed, it's so much easier. They don't grow. For some reason, my weeds won't grow in my raised beds, but I've got real nice compost in all my raised beds now, and it seems to have helped 100%. But onions were great. We get our onions, now I don't know, I think they're called bunches. They got the little green on the top, and they got a rubber band around them. You know what I'm talking about. From a place in South Texas called Dixon Dale Farms. Great big farm down there. Nice people. I've actually talked to them. The man that runs the place, that owns it. They're just simple, real nice people. They're just, don't want to say they're expensive, but they're not. You can get them cheaper, but man, I've never had a problem with them. They're just great onions for you get what you pay for. So we'll leave that at that. I'll always buy them there as long as he's around. Let's see here. Blackberries. I don't know where to start on the blackberries except to tell you that, I don't know how many pounds we made, how many pounds we picked of blackberries this year. Big as the end of your thumb, bigger. some of them. There's some down there right now. And this is October, what is today? October the 18th or something like that. I don't know. Later than that. But anyway, I'll see here. October something. October 20th. We'll call it that. I know it's getting close to my wife's birthday. But anyway, the blackberries, we got 1,100 feet of blackberries. We keep them trimmed. We keep them topped. You have to. We try to cut the dead ones out every year, but you can't keep up with it, you know. Two people can't. And we spent a better part of 3 weeks, almost every day, down there trimming, trimming them and getting them back to where we wanted them. But we did. But we probably processed 120 jars of blackberry jelly this summer, and we've got, I don't know how many pounds out there now frozen in the freezer, and I don't know how many pounds we sold, but I want to say we had 200 pounds of blackberries. I bet we did. I bet we did. That's a lot of blackberries. But man, people love them. They love them. That's a money-making thing too, them blackberries are. Okay, we got our blackberry starts, our little plants, from Norris Farms, somewhere on the East Coast, Massachusetts, and man, them people, they take care of you. They take real good care of you. They're not cheap. 25 blackberry plants, about 3 inches tall, was almost $100. And you figure that out. I did that 11 times. Well, the back 5 doesn't count. We got them off of these here. But anyway, it's expensive to start with, but man, it's paid for itself 100 times already. So let's go on. Okra. We had 1 row of okra this year. I don't like to eat it. I won't eat it. My wife won't. So that's one of the things. It grew great. It grew great. It's fun to look at. It's got a beautiful bloom on it, flower, but we'll not grow okra anymore because we just wasted it. We wasted it. I went up there and cut it down and then mowed down the rest. And 2 weeks later I had okra growing everywhere up there. I did the same thing with the cucumbers. We had a cucumber harvest up there. I never touched a weed in the cucumber patch, and it hurt me because I couldn't find them. Some of them grew too big and turned yellow because I didn't know they were there. So I'm going to have to come up with some way of weeding the cucumber patch. Get some mulch or something. Peppers. If I had to have one failure this year, yeah, I think it would have been the peppers. I didn't get any, and I don't know why. I don't know what went wrong there. I put them in a different place every year, and they did not want to grow this year. None of them. My green bells didn't grow. My jalapenos didn't grow. None of them grew. I was awful. I had 2 rows. I had 200 feet of peppers and didn't get them one. Maybe 1 or 2. It was awful. But that's the way it goes, you know. Every year something's going to fail you. It does me anyway. Okay, let's move on to the best thing of the bunch. My favorite, tomatoes. I don't know what to say. I had out here in the raised beds, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 4.5 raised beds. I had 60 tomato plants in the raised beds. We had went to the local mulch dealer and they had the compost there. So I bought $300, 2 truckloads of compost. And they brought it to the driveway and dumped it, and I got it with the front end loader and put it in there. Man, that's good stuff. I mean, in the mornings the steam rises off of it. I think that's they say the manure in it, but I don't know. But it didn't stink or anything. But boy, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And I'm gonna get another load this year. So we had 60 tomato plants over there in the raised beds. We had 10 rows of 10, 11, 12 rows of 12 in the garden. That's 144. That's 204. Plus, if you count the ones I had in pots on the back porch, around the greenhouse, I had them everywhere. 220 tomato plants total. And some of them were cherry tomatoes. I put them right here at the end of the greenhouse so I can grab them as I go by on the golf cart, the lawnmower. But I'm not kidding you, folks. We weigh them when we pick them. We weigh them when we pick them. We got a real good pair of scales out there, digital. We went right at 743 pounds of tomatoes this year. That's hard to believe. That's hard to believe. We processed. We didn't sell very many tomatoes. People just, I don't know, people, because of this virus, people aren't coming around and getting out, but you used to have a little stand here at the house, and they didn't come this year. We had the big sign out, and nobody showed up. We're hoping it was, it was the virus that kept them out and kept them back, but we did sell a lot of blackberries, One lady, she just kept coming back. She just loved them blackberries. But out of these 730 or 40 pounds of tomatoes, we didn't let any of them go to waste. Not a one, not a one. We got more tomato juice and whole tomatoes, and diced tomatoes, tomato soup, you name it. And salsa, I got salsa everywhere. In there in the pantry, we'll have enough to last us until next year. And that's what you want. Now, on my tomatoes, we take the money that we make from selling the tomatoes, the produce, the blackberries. We take that money and buy the seeds for next year, for the next year, and whatever we need, like the compost or stuff like that. Well, we're going to have a little bit of money left this year to do that, and I'll tell you where I buy my tomato seeds. Just everybody's got their own preference. I buy them a place online, of course, called Totally Tomatoes. Totally Tomatoes. They got them all. They got every tomato you'd ever think of. They've got hybrids. They've got them all. They've got them all. I'm starting to used to like the old-fashioned tomatoes, and I can't remember what they're called now, but I like hybrid tomatoes. I like them. I think they grow so they grow so good, beautiful. Now, here's another thing I got wrote down here. On all these tomatoes, 204. Out of that, I had probably 40 different kinds, varieties, 40 or 50 different. Well, between 40 and 50 different varieties. Not too many yellow ones. I like yellow tomatoes. I love yellow tomatoes, but people won't buy them. But anyway, if I had to pick a favorite out of all these tomatoes, and I'd like to see your comments, what you like, but super steak. Man, We had super steak tomatoes growing out there in that raised bed this year. I don't know if it was because of the raised bed and all the nutrients and no weeds or nothing, but man, oh man, they got big. They were just delicious. Super steak, supersonic. And we had a paste tomato this year that we usually don't have much luck with paste tomatoes. I've never grown a good Roma tomato that's not over the size of a jelly bean. But what was it? I can't think of it now. Not Roma. It's not. I'll think of it here in a minute. Well, it was a good one. Amish paste. I couldn't remember the name of it. Amish paste. Absolutely incredible tomato. I mean, it's just perfect size. They peeled so good when you peel them. That's the main thing, is peeling. And I say it every year, I'm not going to do it, but I do it every year just for fun. And that I grow cherry tomatoes. I grow them everywhere. They're all over the place. But they're good, they're good. I grew the old Southern Indiana heirloom goat bags, which I don't care for, but people want them. They love them. But anyway, that's the heirlooms. What I was wanting to say about tomatoes. I used to grow nothing but heirloom tomatoes, but now I'm leaning towards hybrid tomatoes because they just so much more disease-free and everything. Like I said about the Romas, I haven't had one over the size of a golf ball. Never have. Now I won't grow them anymore. If you'll notice, I didn't say anything about potatoes this year. I think this is the first year we did not grow any potatoes, not one. We don't eat them. We don't eat enough of them, I'll put it, to grow, to take up that much space in the garden. And besides that, I can't control them Colorado potato bugs. I've tried and tried with everything I can think of. 7 spray is the best thing. You got to spray them every Saturday. And I did that 2 years ago, and the yield was awful. It was just awful. And each year it seems like the yield, my potato yield, kept getting worse and worse, and we just decided last year that we weren't going to do it anymore this year, and we haven't missed it yet. She'll buy 5 pounds of potatoes to last us a month. Anyway, you know, it's just 2 of us. So that about wraps it up. I'm getting ready to get off of here. I've talked long enough. Had a great year. Had a great summer. Just wanted you folks to know I appreciate it, everything you say to me, and all of you that subscribe to me and watch all my videos. And I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch it a lot. That's how I learn what I'm doing now. It's how I learn everything. And I got a few months off now before I'm retired, of course. And I'm going to start planting. I'm going to start planting pepper seeds and flower seeds in December this year. I'm going to up it a month. I'm going to up it a month and see what happens. I did learn one thing the hard way this summer. I think I've already made a video about it, but I wanted to remind you. I grew all my seedlings are in the garage, you know, under the lights. And when they get about 8-10 inches tall and the weather starts getting warmer, I take them to the greenhouse. I got a little greenhouse out here you're familiar with. And they just grow crazy in there. They're just great, you know. It's wonderful. Well, last year I kept the ones I was going to put in the garden, the plants. I kept them in the garage under lights. And the day it came to plant them tomato plants up there in the garden, I just went in the garage and got them, took them up there and planted them. Out of 144 tomato plants, I know I lost 30 or 35. I didn't harden them off. I didn't realize that they get hardened off by going in that greenhouse, you know, but they do. And they didn't out here in this garage. So just remember that. You got to harden them off. You got to harden them off. If you buy them, let's say you buy your tomato plants at a nursery and they're sitting outside, you know, or something, you're okay. That's good. You know, they're getting real sunlight that way. But man, if they're inside or something, you got to let them get outside for a little while before you put them in the ground. I did. I know I lost 30. They just turned white. They just turned white and fell over. So we had to go to the greenhouse and get 30 more. That was 30 more we didn't sell. You know, we sell our plants in the spring. Oh well, like I said, we're going to cut it back this year. We're cutting way back next year in year 2022. I've gotten through this virus thing okay so far, and I want to wish all you people the same luck that I've had with it. I don't go anywhere. I won't go out to eat. I haven't went out to eat in almost 2 years. I haven't went to any weddings, funerals, any kind of functions like that where there's people. My 50th class reunion, 1970 class reunion was last year, and they canceled it. And they haven't made it up yet because of this virus is still going on. My brother-in-law's was this year. He was going to come back from Texas, and they canceled it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's got to get better. It's got to get better. So I'm going to get off of here. Wish you folks all a good winter, fall, winter. It's partly my favorite time of year, but I like it all year long. I don't like winter. But I'll get back. I've got some other hobbies here. We'll get back with you. So from now, this is the County Lawn Gardener saying bye bye.